Oi, oi, we are back, we are back, we are back. Yes, I told you, never run away, always back, right? So, but anyway, today I think we'll be focusing on one of the very important topics, right? And I will say it's important because it's the future of our country. Which direction does the future of our country it's heading to, right? And in that regards, it means to say if one is planning for the future, they make sure that the future becomes their vision, whatever they've seen, whatever they believe in, right? Whatever they, aspire to, right? So now, what is this topic? Is the topic of youth unemployment. And generally, if we have to generalize it, it will just be unemployment in South Africa. Why are people not being employed? What is the problem? What is bringing about this problematic aspect? Yeah. So the first question will be why? Why are we having a lot of unemployment in South Africa? Why people are not active? Why the energy that people have is not being utilized to the best of the ability, right? So now, when we look at the structure of South Africa, as we said initially, it was formatted in a way of apartheid system, right? We had, in the Bantustans, there were those colleges that one can go, learn how to do things with their hands, knowledge in actual fact, focusing more on knowledge than on just education, more on knowledge than just paper, right? So now, many of our people, right, were not, educated in the sense of engineering, in the sense of doctors, in the sense of, those high class, whatever qualification you might term them, right, or careers or whatever put the term to, right. So now we uh, had a lot of people who were just teachers, policemen, and things of low, I can say morale, or not to say low. It's not like they are low; they are very important as such. But those which are, I could term them maybe third tiers or fourth tiers, right, of understanding or of implementation, right, those type of things. So now you have a lot of people who are just educated in those, and those were the people who came into government, many of them, right, besides the outsiders like Zimbabwe, like Mozambicans, like Nigerians who were very much educated, post 94 when they came into the country. So, but many of our government officials were from, that background as a teacher, background as a policeman, background, right? So now, when they came into the system, right, they kind of like did not understood how things are done, how things are run. And they started to implement their teacher abilities, their policeman abilities, which, yes, it was good, but not to that extent of being knowledgeable on how to move the country forward and to make sure that, remember, as I said, the apartheid government used to survive under sanction, right? How did they do it? These people of ours did not understood that, did not have, that intel or information or knowledge on how did the apartheid government, operated, right? So now when they come in, these guys, they think government is the one that needs to employ people. They think government is the one that needs to, give people free monies. They think government is the one that needs to feed people, and that's where they missed the mark. That's where, things started being upside down because of lack of knowledge, lack of understanding, and that's why we ended up with a lot of people who are unemployed. Why? Because the system is not expanding. In actual fact, it's contracting. Like it's just actually, a small individuals who are capable to can get a work, and for the reason that at most it's a family agenda now. I employ my brother who does not even know anything about engineering. He used to be a teacher, right? As a municipal manager, he doesn't have even business admin, qualifications and stuff like that. He is in actual fact clueless of what he's supposed to be doing. And at the end of the day, municipalities are being run down, the government, the entities are being run down. There is a lot of problematic aspects that, are happening within our government spheres, right? And as I mentioned, another thing, beautiful women in the government, man, that's a no-no, right? It's an, actual no-no. In our government, we don't want that nonsense, right? You come in a government because you want to work, you want to serve the people, right? Government officials are people's servants. They do not serve themselves, they do not pay themselves, they do not steal for themselves. They do the right thing, right? So that is a little bit of history why these things are. Because at most we just say, youth unemployment, but we don't understand the foundation. Because I always will state, if you do not alter the foundation that is wrong, the building will always have cracks. And at the end of the day, it will collapse. Why? Because the foundation is still the same, right? It's a useless foundation. It was not done well, right? It was not done based on research. When you do foundation, you must have research. You must have a geotech report. You must understand the soil condition, the rock formation, everything that needs to be. You need to understand the survey, the topography, all those type of things. Hey, I'm learned, guys. Right? You need to understand those things so that at the end of the day, you know what you are supposed to do. You do not put a chicken where you are supposed to be putting a cow and expect a chicken to survive, right? Do not put a cow where you're supposed to be putting a chicken and you expect that cow will do well. Seriously? That's what is happening in South Africa now, right? So now, the one thing I spoke about is the GDP of a country, right? You might say, but how does the GDP align to the unemployment rate? The reason why the GDP is low is because our people are unemployed. Nobody's drawing a salary. How will you be able to pay tax, right? How will you be able to pay SARS? How will the country be able to construct roads, do water resources projects, or do those type of things that grow about the country? Look at country like China. How are they doing it? And I always will ask a question now. African leaders, they go there to China to attend these nonsensical things. Then from there, at the end of the day, what do they come back with? What is it that they say to our people? People, I have been in that land. I've seen how they do things. Let's implement those things here. And not as a copy and paste, but understanding and implementation, right? So take people like they do, taking people to Cuba, take people to USA, take people to UK, take people to China. Those people come back and support them to do what? To create their own companies. And that's where a big issue is, because they take those people, they go, they train them, they come back, they still want to own them. It does not work in that way, right? So, the alignment of the GDP to unemployment is because the GDP will never grow, right? We'll still stay where we are. Small countries like Taiwan, like Switzerland, they will always be better than us, right? And you wonder why, right? It is because the way the structure of our system, government system is, and it is deterring on the concept of growth, right? If country wants to grow, there are things that the country needs to focus on, right? Government needs to be a government. Government is not a private sector, people, right? Government does not create jobs. That's the first thing, right? So, now the issue of SARS, as I said, if people are not working, SARS will not make money, for sure, right? Because where will they get the money from? Because the SARS needs to tax you. They need to tax your company, right? If you have a company, SARS tax your company, SARS tax you, SARS makes a lot of money. The government has a lot of, money in their kitties, right? A lot of, money to use for roads. Because can you imagine nowadays, when we started to build a kilometer of road, which was not a carriageway, just a normal road, two-way road, uh, it will cost you around 1 million something, right? Now it's almost around 30 million rands just for a kilometer of road. Can you imagine? Where does the government find that money? That's why we are having potholes on our roads. That's why we are having water resources problems. That's why we are having sewer, stormwater, a lot of things which, like the sewer that is falling into the sea in Durban, in Cape Town. Those things are caused by not having proper plans, not following those proper plans if we have them, right? At the end of the day, we are not being successful, right? Why? Because the government system needs to create an atmosphere of growth. That's the duty of the government. The duty of the government is not to create employment. Let's get that right. Let's understand that, right? Do not say, we as the UIF, we're going to create employment. You see, that's where we miss the mark. That's the problematic aspect of it, right? You as the UIF, you beef up people, you help people to create companies, which those companies employ people, and then you make money from that, right? We need to understand these things, right? So now, the issue of technology, the issue of UBI, the issue of building big and IoTs and stuff like that, right? They are coming very fast. Like if you look at China, you look at USA, they are implementing those things already as we speak now, right? Meaning to say, yes, though we are behind in terms of our technological advancements, right, to those countries up there, but the reason why those people are doing well is because they are ahead of us, right? And we look at the model that China used. China used to be behind, very much behind, right? But in 20 years' time, right, they managed to catch up. And at the rate they are going, they are even superseding the American systems, right? They are more faster than the Americans at present moment, right? So meaning to say, if China has managed to do it in 20 years, we can do it in 10 years. And you ask, but we are not fast. No. It's not a matter of being fast. It's a matter of understanding how to do something and do it well. You understand? So if the first heart transplant was done here in South Africa, right? The dollars were done here in South Africa. The whatever Elon Musk is from South Africa, it tells you that there is something very big about South Africa that we do not take cognizant to, right? And if we can do that, then I believe that's where our ability stems from, right? So now, UBI, it's universal basic income, right? It's an income given to people without them doing anything, just for being alive, right? So, but how do you afford that when less people are working and many people are not working? You see? So it is not doable, right? It is never going to be possible, right? So if they has to be like this 350 they are talking about or 375 increased by 20 rand, yay! It doesn't make sense, right? That money was supposed to be helping people to create companies, and after creating companies, people will work from those companies and make their own money. I say one thing, and mainly with the Department of Housing, that you cannot build a man a house. That's a disgrace. It's a high level of disgrace, right? A man build his own house. You do not build a man a house. Yes, when you talk about the elderly, when you talk about the kids who have lost their parents and stuff like that, yes, those people need houses, right? It makes sense. But to build me a house, it's a big problem. You are spoiling me, right? They say, teacher, child to fish, not, spoil the child with the fish, whatever they say, right? So now is the system that was created by our politicians has come to a cul-de-sac, as I'll call it, a dead-end street, meaning to say there's no going forward. Now they're just being exposed, right? To say these people are clueless. And what did Mangope say? Right? You take these people from jail. What do they know? What have they learned? They've been behind the wall. The only thing is they know is the wall and the bars, right? That's what they know. So how far do you think that type of a person will go, right? Yes, there are those who might be, which few of them, they might do good, but many of them, because they are used to that system of seeing a wall, they always think of a wall rather than think of going forward or moving forward, right? The education system, right? Initially, as I said, there used to be colleges, right, which will help people to do handiwork, right? Meaning to say, scandi moto, right? Or you become a plumber or you become an electrician, those type of things. Then you open your own entity, you employ people, the government gives you a stipend on the people you are helping, you are, training, right? And those people, at the end of the day, you can assume them in your company when the company is doing well. You understand? So that's what the system, the government should be employing to make sure that we counter-attack this issue of unemployment. But the government has killed those colleges. They expect everybody to go to university. That's why the reason why now people are even dying on the lines trying to register at university. We had to register at university. You stand in this long line. Lucky at that time it wasn't that extensive, but now it's bad, right? Why? Because the government wanted everybody to go to university, go to technical, go to university, right? And you go there, okay, what do? You learn from the book. You learn how to write, right? You learn how to read, and at the end of the day, that's all you know. When after finishing, there is no employment. You start sitting at home. When you look for work, they say, but what have you done? No, I went to school, I've done engineering. Okay. Yeah, I just done engineering. That's all. Yeah, I just done it. You understand the whole scenario there, right? You are not knowledgeable. You just know the book. You could have just copied and pasted there and pass. That's not logical. That's not ability. That's not knowledge. That is just a book read. That's all. It's not knowledge. It does not depict knowledge, or it does not translate into knowledge, right? And what is happening? Our kids are suffering. I said like 15 or something years back, used to pass in Tembisa, you find kids sitting, used to pass in Soweto, kids sitting on the street, ask them, hey man, why here? No, I'm learning, right? Bring a certificate, you see, and you see, the parents have spent their last monies to take the child to school, right? At the end of the day, you expect at least, the child will help us, but no. Why? The system created to oppress our people by our own people. It's reverse apartheid on your own people. That's where the problem is, mainly with this ANC government, right? Strategies. What strategies do these guys have? No strategies at all, right? We do not understand anything. There's no way when you don't understand anything, you'll ever do anything. It's impossible. It does not make sense, right? So we should have had proper strategies that are implementable, not a copy and paste, but a copy and understand and implement, not paste, but implement, right? So no strategies at all. Our government does not understand what they are doing. As I say, a lot of beautiful women there. You ask me, yeah, I don't want to talk of places because they will arrest me. They will come after me. So let me just narrow my content. right? Let me just narrow it to, an understanding level, right? Let me not go far, right? So, yeah, no strategy at all, right? We keep on doing the same thing. And I asked one question, why will you do the same thing and expect different results? Doing it the same way. Does that make sense? To me, it doesn't. I don't know, maybe to you it does make sense, but to me, no, not at all. If you do the same thing the same way, you'll get the same results in the same way, right? It's just like the same, right? It'll never change. Do a different thing. Implement a different thing. Bring about a different strategy. When you see this strategy is not working, try another strategy. That's why research is important. When they are doing researches, that's why there's patents and stuff like that. It's because they do research, they see it does not work, they change the method statements, right? Or the methodology, then from there implement it differently. They keep on changing until they get what? They get the proper results, right? Okay, way forward. What is the way forward? How do we make sure that kids are employed? How do we make sure that the country works? How do we make sure that, the GDP is advanced or, beefed up? How do we, bring about those strategies that help the country, right? There are many things that can be done, right? And it's just our government, as I say, it needs to be booted out. We need to take these people out of there and put proper people, right? People who understand what they are supposed to be doing. People who have people at heart, who loves people, right? Because the first thing, which is, I think a requirement for a leader, is how much do you love yourself and how much do you love your people? Because if you love yourself more than you love your people, you're not a leader. It's as simple as that, right? First thing, you need to love people. If you love people, you will do more for them. You will understand what people are going through. You will feel their pain before they can even feel it themselves. Right? That's the definition of a leader, right? If you do not do that, you say, I'm from school, I understand. You're not a leader. You're just a fuck off, right? So now, what are the solutions? Manufacturing is one of them. Look how China is doing, right? Technology is another. Technology is big. Look how many people did Google employ. Look how many people did Facebook employ. Come on, you can do your own WhatsApp. Let the government beef you up, help you. Then the next thing, people are employed. They are working. The government is making more monies. That's the duty of the government, right? You look at venture capitals. Beef up the venture capitals like you are beefing up these stupid banks, right? The ones that oppresses us, right? They help those people scour or look for the mindset which is willing to, do the right things, do amazing things, right? Help those people, give them training, give them, but make it in a way that it will be broader rather than just a minute thing and say, yeah, we are doing something here. What are you doing? You can't talk about the CSIR, whatever, the research center in Pretoria. Come on, you can't talk about that. That's stupid, right? Talk about people, private people, put them there, let them do research. Africa is unknown. We do not know anything about Africa. Let's have companies which are doing research on Africa, the whole of Africa. Understanding, if I say how many mines of gold are there in the DRC, there are 20 or 30. What commodities are there in the DRC? There, nobody knows, nobody has got that intel, right? But we have that chance to do so. We have the chance to put Africa in our pairs, right? We are the bridge to Africa and the bridge to the world that make us a very strategic country, right? So, but if we do not, follow those trends of saying, what is the world doing? What is it that we need to understand, right? What is it that we need to implement? What is it that, it's never gonna work, right? We will always have a problem. And at the end of the day, you have a problem with migrants. We might blame those people to come here, but in actual fact, we are to blame because we should be the ones who are helping them. They've helped us throughout the apartheid regime and stuff like that, right? So we should be by now being in a position to say, guys, we are coming into your country to help you. With whatever problem, with whatever situation, we are there for you as Africans. And look at it. Look at it. By doing that, we are doing what the Western man has done to us, right? We are colonizing Africa in the right way, right? With the love of one another. Understanding that, oh, Zimbabwe guys have got minerals. Okay, Zimbabwe, you got sanctions. We don't care about those. You are our neighbors because your problem is our problem, right? Okay, you got minerals. Give us minerals. We'll give you the medication. We'll give you the cash. We'll give you the water. We'll give you the electricity, right? But you give us the minerals. You understand? Logic. Yeah? We do an exchange like in the olden days where there was no money. You just have to exchange a goat for 20 goats for a cow, right? Why can't we do that? Why don't we understand those aspects? Why? Or maybe we understand them, but we do not want to, follow the trends and do the right thing. Okay, it's up to us. Okay, we have government funds, right? You got this UIF, which whatever, it's being used for whatever, nobody knows. That money was supposed to help individuals who will create companies, but those individuals who have knowledge on how things work. Take them to China, take them to wherever, let them be trained. When they come back here, you give them those monies, they form companies, then at the end of the day, those companies employ people, right? But this thing of oppressing our people and expect our people to just keep on being slave of another person, it does not make sense at all. That's why, in South Africa, we got this, what I call it, oxymoronic type of framework or viewpoint, right? That one will say, engineering, right? Every one of us, we run to engineering. That's what we did. Teachers. Every one of us, we run to teachers, right? We need to change that mindset. We need to be broad, diversity. We need to diversify ourselves through all these things, right? And if we can do that, then you do not have an over or influx of people who are done engineering, right? In the last 30 years, how many engineers have been produced? A lot of them. What are they doing? Nothing. Some of them, they never even worked. You wonder, an engineer, that never works. What does that mean? You see where the problem is. So, yeah, those are some things that we need to have a focus on. There is other issues, right, that will help to beef up our country's GDP, right? Using our resources, using our waters, making sure that the people who owns the mines are from here. I want to tell you of this one issue. There is a place in the Northern Cape, right? Many you might not know of that place. That place, it's, I wouldn't say the name as such, but it's got like 50 mines within 17 mines, right? Within a radius of 50 km, 50 kilometers, Bali. Can you understand the kind of activities which are happening there? 17 mines in 50 kilometer radius. That's mind-boggling, right? How much are those mines making? They are raking in billions. But where does the money go to? Europe, Asia, India. What are we left with? We will be left with open cast in that area, right? Open areas where even that money is to reclaim the land and fix the land will be in, who's this guy? Got them and touch his stomach. To be in the tiger stomach. Can you imagine, right? Of which there is an opportunity to say our people should supposed to be owning those mines. Don't tell me about 70, 30%. No. Tell me about 70% as, in favor of our people, right? 70% in favor of people. You ask where the money is coming. I'll keep on saying the same answer, telling you the same answer because I expect the same results. They're chowing the monies, they're stealing the monies from the government. That is the money that they are supposed to be using. State Bank was supposed to have been there to assist our people, to beef up our people. And when I say our people, I don't mean just black people. No, I mean all people. South Africa is diverse. It's called the Rainbow Nation for a fact, right? There is a fact why we call South Africa a rainbow nation, right? So it does not matter as long as a person presents a certain ability that is we are looking for, right? You beef up that person, you help that person to grow, you make that person something in life. The moment you do that, what happens? That person help other people, right? You have enough money if you want to steal, at least people are paying taxes. If we can beef up our GDP to be 2 times what we have now, can you imagine what possibilities are there in South Africa? We say alive with possibilities, but the only possibility is in Mantashe's stomach. That's all. That's all we have, and Cyril's big nose. That's all we have, right? But people, come on, we can do much better. We are capable and able. And if one hates what I'm saying, it's fine, but I know, right? What I've done already. I know what I've achieved already, right? Through my small initiatives, whichever, whatever, if you call them initiative, but at the end of the day, I can point to areas where I say, look, that, and probably you have been there, but you don't even know. You don't have to know. It's not important. The most important part is that doing something, right, for our people, making a difference, right? Yeah. So now you have like a model that the world is using, right? You got American model, you got a European model, you got South American model, you got Asian model, Russian model, or Indian model, or Chinese model, right? Shouldn't we be learning all these models, right? Understanding this model, teaching our people this model to say, okay, how has Chinese managed to do it in 20 years? How did Dubai manage to do it in 20 years? How did America manage to do it in 100 years? How did Britain manage to do it in 200 years, right? Those are the things. You just don't say, yeah, we know, we can do. But at the end of the day, you are doing nothing, right? So what I am saying is that our situation is self-inflicted situation, right? It's a self-inflicted pain. You cannot blame somebody from far and say, no, it's because of that one. No, it's not because of America. It's not because of apartheid. It's not because of colonialism. It's because of us, right? At the end of the day, you sit on your sofa, you watch your TV, you see what is going on throughout the country. How do you live with yourself as a leader? How do you say it's fine? How do you say, okay, I can sleep at night, right? It does not make sense at all, right? I do not plea with you. I don't care, right? All I care about is a new dispensation which is coming into being that will focus on these things, will help our people, will put our people first, right? Will make sure that things work, right? At least the end product. Okay, I know, you didn't know when you took over the government what it requires, right? And that's why I don't want to speak on those, under the pillow things, right? So, but at the end of the day, there is a need for our people to have that chance, being afforded that chance to do better. Not because you are my brother, not because you are my folk, not because you are my what, but because you are a human being as me, right? If I go to sleep, throwing away food, sleeping in a sofa with monies under it, at least let me think about you, right? So, yeah, that is the situation that we see ourselves in, but I believe that we will do better, right? I believe that when we come into being, people will notice the difference, as long as they don't argue with a fool. Don't go Malema's way. Malema's way is a stupid way. I say that guy was supposed to have done a bank now, at least giving people monies to focus on doing the right things, making employment, and say, there's the difference I'm making. If we come into government, we'll even do much better than that. That's how a leader behaves. So, yeah, oi, oi, we'll see you on the next video. Right?